welcome everyone to our Unite East webinar. It's our 10th webinar in our series getting ready for Unite this summer. It's been a long journey. Think about 10 webinars up to this point. We've covered a lot of material and we're going to cover a lot more today. You may notice that things look a little different than some of our past webinars, and that's because we've got like the Brady Bunch grid going on today, because we've invited our entire Unite East executive team to join us. And so this is your opportunity to kind of get to know the people that are helping to make this event happen. And so I'm going to introduce them in just a minute. But first, I just want to welcome everyone that's in the chat and it's a viewer to joining us. We're glad that you're here. We would love for you to write questions and type them into the chat as we go along. We'll do our best to answer them as we go along or at the end, depending on how the questions go. And also, just as a way to introduce yourself, let us know where you're from and what your favorite summer treat is. And we'll love to hear some good summer treat ideas. I might get hungry in the middle of this, but that'll be okay. I'm glad to be able to do that. So, but most importantly, share where you're from, your name, your church, and if you can, what conference you're from. So, all right, here we are. We've got our executive team, and what I'd love to do is just go around the circle here and just have you introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, what your favorite summer treat is, and what your role is going to be at Unite this summer. So I'm Eric Cave. If you haven't met me, I work for the Pacific Northwest Conference as the Director of Next Gen Ministries. I also get to serve as the point person for the interim youth ministry leadership team for the ECC. It's been a lot of fun. And at Unite, I will be putting most of my energy into helping our afternoon rec go really well. So we'll be focusing on that as we get closer. I'll pass it on to Edgar, who's just to my right here. Go ahead, Edgar.
All right, I have to go. I think earlier I had mentioned something about the ice cream paletas, which is a paletero man that goes around the community selling popsicles, Mexican popsicles. And the flavors of those popsicles are just unique. So I can go with any flavor of those Mexican popsicles or paletero man that you would see them in the Latino community.
Nice. And where are you from, and what's your?
That's right.
Well, yeah.
So I serve in Chicago, so I'm in the city of Chicago. Was youth pastor for the past 7 years, and right now I'm currently going to attending New Community Covenant Church in Logan Square, and I'm the Central Conference Latino Youth Coordinator.
Excellent. Thanks, Edgar. All right, Michelle, you're next in my Brady Bunch grid.
Okay. I'm Michelle Bilby. I think I said ice cream earlier. I'm going to change my flavor though, because there's lots of flavors. I'm going to say raspberry chocolate chip at Sebastian Joe's in the Twin Cities is my favorite in the summer. But anyway, I am now a licensed marriage and family therapist. I was a youth pastor in what seems like a long time ago now, but still stay connected to the covenant, obviously, with working on Unite. And I'm helping to provide infrastructure with human services, covering medical, counseling services, access, security, prayer team, resident assistance, stuff like that.
Excellent. And apparently happy birthday is in order. So.
Oh yeah, earlier this week.
Yeah. Good. All right, Sally, go for it. Also,
hi, I'm Sally. I'm a pastor at Shoreline Covenant Church in Washington, just north of Seattle. So I am, like Eric Cave, coming from the west to be at Unite East. And I've been participating in youth ministry for, it feels like a zillion years. Not quite as long as Michelle, because she was almost my youth pastor, but I'm right behind. So what else am I supposed to say? My favorite treat? Did I skip something else?
What's your role at Unite?
Oh, my volunteer role at Unite. I am on the executive team, and I'm trying to help keep us together, bring us together, and gather this team as Unite happens. And my favorite ice cream, I said Blizzard, but I'll be very specific. Oreo Cookie Blizzard, since they invented the Blizzard, since my first one at the Dairy Queen by Lake Josephine in Roseville, Minnesota, way back in the day. So even as I live on the West Coast, I'm a Minnesota girl, so it's fun to be heading to Unite with a bunch of my peeps from the Northwest Conference. And I lived in Chicago, so the Central Conference, and then getting to know more East people. So yeah.
Excellent.
Is that all you need from me, or do you need more? I've been drinking a lot of coffee for the last few minutes.
That's wonderful.
Mute is
Great.
probably
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, good.
Ginny, you're next. I'm glad you made it.
I am too. We just finished with we have a big junior high event in August, and so that we had a team meeting right beforehand. So glad we could be here. I could be here. Yeah, I'm Ginny Olson. I work for the Northwest Conference office, Director of Youth Ministry, and I'm going to be helping coordinate volunteers at Unite East. So the only way we can do this is through a bunch of people volunteering their time. So if you have folks at your churches that they want to be part of this, please, we could use a few more to help us execute this great event. So I'll be helping coordinate that. My favorite summer treat, I would say, if I'm going through a drive-through, it's going to be Chick-fil-A frozen lemonade or frosted lemonade. I've now only said I can only do 2 a summer because it can be a serious habit. Otherwise, I'm with Patty Hoffman. I'm like vanilla ice cream and fresh raspberries. I'm going to the fresh berry route for summer.
Thank you, Ginny. 2 a summer. That is restraint.
It came out of necessity. My 12-step program said that's it.
Great. Michelle, did you, I apologize if you did. Did you say what your role is for Unite? Okay, you're coordinating our human services. And Edgar, did you say anything about your role? I know you're, okay, I'm sorry. I just, my brain has not been working super well today, as you said.
And we give Eric the coffee.
Yeah. So thank you to the executive team, Eric Anderson. I'd love to hear your answers as well. We all know and love Eric really well, but I wanted to give our executive team the opportunity to stay on, and as we go through and cover a bunch of details, but you're also, if you want to pop off and go off screen for a little while, you're certainly welcome to too.
No, I'm good to go. I'm here for it. Yeah.
No, I meant the rest, but Eric, before we move on to you, because
are you inviting me to leave? I don't know.
I was saying you have to stay. Eric, anybody named Eric has to stay, but anybody not named Eric is welcome to hop off if you'd like to. That's what I was trying to say. Because I want to pass it off to Eric, because he's got some exciting announcements to make about our worship team.
Yeah, so we are super thrilled at Unite East that we get to have Alex DeJesus and her team from Free Worship leading us. And Alex has been involved in the last 3 different Unite/Chicks when it comes to leading worship, as well as other Covenant events. So her team will represent the full mosaic of the Covenant Church, as well as the emerging generation. So we couldn't be more excited, and working with her and her team to see how we've been designing each moment in the service and what it'll look like to impact you, your leaders, and students. Couldn't be more thrilled. Like I'm a little giddy about it, like about what God's going to do. But there's moments in those spaces that we're going to have together that I think that will be impactful for all of our churches and leaders and students.
That's great. Thank you, Eric. That's fantastic.
And yes, Jordan, just a little. Yes, I know. I see that in the chat. And I am not going to sing. They tried to get me to sing in the last webinar. I'm not going to sing. I have some, that's not going to happen because I don't want anyone to leave their faith because of my vocals. So I just think it's going to be great. No, honestly, like it's those spaces and times. I think we all remember this as students in our faith formation, whether you're young adults, and you just end up in a space where you see and experience God move. And I think that's already gone before us. And so I couldn't be more thrilled for all the churches and people, conferences that are going to be there.
Okay, I think it's probably an executive director's decision whether or not you sing. So Sally.
No.
Hey, I keep saying it in the chat. Let's go, Eric. I want to hear it.
No, it's going to be the Stand by Hillsong United, and you don't want to hear that. So anyway.
I'm with Jim. We can't move forward on this agenda.
No, we're going to keep
a little bit
forward.
Okay, we'll let Eric off the hook because next
Okay,
thing you
this
know,
time.
we're all gonna have to sing. We don't want that to happen. So thank you, Eric. Thank you for that announcement. It's great.
Yep.
I apologize if I'm a little choppy. I think my internet has been having a little trouble this morning. So if there's a problem, let me know. But otherwise, we're gonna just keep on going. And our next topic is to go over the schedule for the day and kind of give a little bit more detailed expansion for the afternoons of what you can expect. So I believe in the chat or maybe sharing the screen, we might get to see a graphic representation of the schedule, but I'll just dive in as that comes up. So there it is, great. You can see there that your Monday and Friday are pretty different days, but today we're going to focus in on the day-to-day of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So things will get started each morning with an opportunity for morning prayers. This is really for our students, but leaders are invited to come as well. And it's for those that really want to dig in, want to jump in, and are ready to start the day with a morning prayer. And what we've heard from our friends at CIY has gone very well. And so we're excited for that opportunity. We move into breakfast there. Breakfast, all of our meals will be done in shifts at Unite West, but we ask leaders to go early to breakfast so that you can get to the adult leader meeting, which starts at 8. And that's a really important place that everybody needs to be at each day so that we can cover the important details that you'll need to know in order to really have a great day at Unite. While we're meeting, our students will begin what we call a pre-session activity. And this will be really well monitored by adults and such like that. We don't have to worry, but they'll come together in the main meeting area and they will play some games and do some fun stuff, build some community as we are finishing up our leader meeting. And then we join them at 9 for the morning session, which will include some worship, some teaching from our morning speakers, and it'll set you up really well for what comes immediately after, which is student devotional time and small group time. There will be an app that we will introduce later on. We're not quite ready to share the app with you yet, but we'll have an app that's web-based where you'll be able to monitor the schedule and everything with Unite, but it'll also include a really great guide for your small groups. And I can't wait for you to see it. We did it a couple years ago at 2022, and it's very easy to use. Your group will love it as well. So you'll spend the rest of the morning in small groups and then head to lunch. After lunch, then we go into our afternoon activities big block of time. And it will all begin at 1 o'clock with our mega game. And we have 3 different mega games each day. And we have Ali Korovu, who is going to be joining us to share about that. So can somebody, Jim, can you let Ali in as a speaker? Ali is coming to Unite East as our afternoon rec director, and she will then be the one that's going to be making sure we just have a blast. All of our games are safe and go really well. And she's going to just walk through really quickly what we can expect for the mega games each day. Ali, good to see you. Glad you made it. And I'll turn it over to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then let us know what are the mega games for each day.
Yeah, sure. Well, excited to be with you all. I am coming to you from just outside of Boston. I am the youth pastor at Newton Covenant Church. Been there for just about a year. My go-to summer treat is always ice cream, like hands down. And I know this is controversial for some, but for me, it's kind of any coffee flavored ice cream. I feel like that's something people either love or hate. Yeah, Eric's in the hate category.
It's the ice cream.
I'm firmly in the love category. So the mega game is just one small piece of afternoon activities, but it's going to be amazing. So Tuesday afternoon, our first mega game is giant slip and slides. And Unite East is really lucky because we have the perfect hill for slip and slides. So get ready to go really fast and probably really far. It's going to be awesome. Wednesday afternoon, we are going to have color wars. If you've ever been to a color run and you've seen people throwing colored powders at each other, that is going to be us on a massive chaotic scale. So encourage your kids to show up wearing something light colored, white, gray, whatever, and the colored powders will show up great. It will make for an epic photo shoot at the end. Thursday afternoon, we're going to play Super Dodgeball Capture the Flag. There will be 4 teams, and think trench dodgeball, capture the flag, steal the bacon, and like a water gun fight, all kind of merged into one. It's going to be awesome. So think of the mega game as a great way to kick off that afternoon free time together as a youth group before everyone kind of disperses to the myriad of opportunities they will have following that. And each morning we'll tell you more about that day's activity, but you can start hyping up the mega game with your kids, get it on their radar. It'll be great.
Thank you, Allie. Now, Allie is also helping put together our hub area and the welcome party. Could you tell us just a little bit about what people can expect for those spaces?
Yeah, for sure. When you arrive Monday afternoon from 1 to 5, the welcome party is going to be set up in the same space that the hub will be each afternoon throughout the week. It's right outside of the Student Rec Center. It's kind of, for us, the central part of campus. And our welcome party is going to have food and giant inflatables. What else? Everyone is going to get a cinch sack that they can decorate and use for the week, which will come in super handy. So that's great. And then at the hub for the rest of the week, you're going to find all our yard games like vertical 9 square and cornhole, and tons of crafts and other games. And that will be up every afternoon. So you can just send kids. That's another afternoon option for kids.
Yep. It's like the perfect meetup spot. Say, meet at the hub. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be music as well. And I think we're also giving away our t-shirts there, and there'll be some other fun giveaways, but keep those a surprise right now. So look forward to that. So thank you, Allie. We're looking forward to working with you at Unite East this summer. And everybody that's watching this video live or watching the recording, really glad that they got to meet you, because they're going to get to see a lot of you as we lead our big mega games at Unite East. So thank you. Thank you very much. So following the mega game each day on the schedule, we will have 3 blocks where there will be a lot of different elective opportunities: seminars, workshops, and tournaments. So we have seminars that are going to be offered in each block, and we have people coming from places like North Park University. Like, I got the name right this time. North Park University. We have people coming people will be giving seminars from our intern team. Our morning speakers will be giving some. They'll be on biblical topics. We'll have one about discerning call to ministry. Our worship team will be doing one of our seminars as well. We have, I think, like 15 total throughout the week. And so they'll have plenty of opportunities to connect with seminars as we go through the week. We'll be sending a full list and which seminars are when as we get closer to the event, so you can plan out your week. We also have a special treat for the for Unite East only, and that is we're going to have a workshop for around esports. So Peter Casella from North Park University is going to be coming on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll specifically be focusing on esports, like video games kind of a thing, on Tuesday, all afternoon workshop, and on Wednesday we're focusing on chess. It's a really cool opportunity. And then there'll also be tournaments offered during these blocks, things like basketball, some video game tournaments, volleyball, and we'll also have a dodgeball tournament that will actually go all week long and culminate with a big championship on Thursday afternoon. And then on Wednesday, for those that are interested, we'll have volleyball. During the same time, there's lots of self-service opportunities. So we mentioned the hub, that'll be something you can do the whole time. There's also a pool that you'll be able to utilize during the free time. Bowling Green State University has a really nice indoor pool, and it's huge. It's got diving platforms. Your students are going to love hanging out there. I know it's going to be a really popular place. There's also the student center, so the indoor space right next to the hub where students can go to, and there's shops in there, Starbucks and stuff like that. People can hang out. And then there's also a really nice rec center field house that we'll be able to utilize in the afternoon as well. So there'll be lots to do. We won't have any watch for something to do in the afternoon while you're at Unite West. Like I said, we will be sharing the details for all of these in the coming weeks. You'll get an email that will let you know what all these are so that you can plan ahead and share this with your students. You got to get a sense of the week. Here's what we're going to do. But we'll also post it on coveyouth.com. And then that app that I mentioned earlier will also have all the details. And so there'll be lots of ways to access this before the event. So you can make sure you have all your whole week kind of in mind, planned out and scheduled. So that's the afternoon. After afternoons are done, at 5, all those things wrap up. Then we go to dinner, and then we go into some evening opportunities before the session. So there's an evening prayers option similar to morning prayers. And then there'll be some pre-session activities. We aren't announcing those yet. We'll let you know ahead of time as needed. But there'll be some fun things so that as students are kind of getting ready for a session and they're not sure what to do with themselves, some ways they can engage with some really cool opportunities there. And from there, we'll go into the evening sessions. And here's something I'm really excited about that I want to make sure you're aware of is that you don't have to worry about getting in line early for the evening sessions at Unite this year. And that's because CIY, who we're using to partner with for this event, has a standard practice of assigning seats for the evening sessions. They did this for us back in 2022, and it was fantastic. And the way it works is you walk into the session, you'll see a screen, it'll tell you where in the arena you're sitting, and you go and sit. And they automatically, not automatically, but they intentionally and strategically move groups around each session so that some days you'll get to be up front, but other times you might have to be in the back. The great part about it is it just eliminates that worry, that stress and anxiety that happens when you have to feel like you have to get there hours early in order to wait for the best seats. And so you go into the session, and instead of being tired and grumpy and angry, you're refreshed and ready to go. They'll have some really fun activities actually in the lobby as you go in. They get you excited and ready to go, and you go in, and you'll have a great session each night. I would encourage you to anticipate a high energy, with high volume at the sessions. And so if you or someone else is sensitive to that, you might want to bring some earplugs. It's not going to be excessive. It's not like a rock concert, but it won't be your typical, kind of church volume. It'll be a little bit louder. And it'll be great. Expect that God move powerfully through each session. And then following the session, you immediately get to go to some youth group time. And we'll share some instructions and some guidelines on how to utilize that youth group time through the app, some questions and such, but it's also free for you to utilize that time as you see needed, what your group needs. Following that, we're back in the dorms, and we do have forced quiet hours. We have a really nice security team set up for Unite East that's going to help us make sure everyone's in the right place at the right time. But ultimately, it'll be your responsibility as a leader to make sure your students are in their dorms at the right time. So that pretty much wraps up the schedule for each of those like middle of the week days. I hope you find that helpful as we get ready to go. Watch for even more details as we get closer. All right, so we're going to transition now, and I'm going to turn it over to Ginny if she's ready. And she was going to highlight for us some resources we've been sharing the last couple of weeks called Quick Tips that hopefully have been helpful to you. And if maybe you're just now discovering them, great. Ginny, go ahead. Take it away. Tell us about Quick Tips.
Yeah, these are just little nuggets of wisdom and help as you get ready for Unite East. Sorry. And I would say make sure your volunteers also know about these. And here's like some of the ones that are there are, how do you care for a challenging student or a student that's struggling? How do you lead a small group well? Some last minute fundraising ideas. We did a list of what are the odd things that really help a trip to bring on a trip, like, binder clips to close your curtains at night, and, bring a massive like surge protector so when you go to McDonald's, everybody can plug in and power up their phones at the same time. So we just searched all over and had some really good ideas on that one. So, how do you encourage your volunteer leaders? So I don't want this to get lost in the mix of everything with Unite. Just stop by there, take a look, send your volunteers there as well. It's just stuff that really helps on a trip. So that's it.
Great. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you for writing some of those. All of our interim youth ministry team jumped in to write these, and I think we're all really happy. We're like kind of like, what did we do here? We came up with something pretty good, so we're going to save it and probably use them for future events because they're pretty good. So I agree with Jeannie. If you haven't checked them out, please do so right away because you'll definitely find something helpful there. Okay, so we're going to move on then and just do some more updates on registration. Eric, are you set to share about that, or would you like me to?
No, I can for sure. Yeah. So we sent an email out to everyone earlier this week about extended housing and some of those like important forms that need to be wrapped up by tomorrow, Friday. So I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that, that you received that email. Also, when it comes to the final payment, you can find all that information on coveyouth.com when it comes to like check, credit card, what it means for your church. Yeah, Jim's just crushing it, just dropping the links in. So as he does. So I just think, yeah, make sure you review those links. Make sure you and your church, I know when you work with your finance office, or I don't know how your church is structured when it comes to those kind of payments and schedules, just make sure you review that. That'd be really important for you and your church. But if you need extended housing before and after, that tomorrow's a big day. So make sure you get that dialed in. If you need any help, you can email myself at eric.anderson@coveychurch.org or Vince@coveychurch.org. We can partner with you to make sure that you have those resources and support. But we're really excited. I mean, I think we're in this, like, it's a sweet spot of 1 month where things are, I know it's stressful, where everything's coming together for all of you. It's not, as a former youth worker, like, it's not lost on me because I know how this period can feel, but know that, like, we are here and we want to support you in whatever details you need logistically and administratively, so that you can just be the full leader and support that you need to be to your students and leaders.
Great. Thank you, Eric. On top of that,
is there anything else you want me to share, or is that okay?
Well, just to mention the transportation. If you need transportation from the airport,
that's right. That's correct.
That's also due tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yep.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. So just to make sure everybody hears clearly that if you need to apply for additional housing or transportation from the airport, the application is due tomorrow. So
yep.
If you're listening to it today, great. If you're listening to it next week, sorry. But so the good thing you're listening to today if you're on. So but they're emailing out about that, so you should all know already. Jim is putting links for that in the chat, so thank you, Jim. Also, I want to make sure you're aware that all of your leaders need to go through a screening process that CIY has set up. You ought to have had an email about this as well, but just to be clear, that includes that all of your leaders need to do a background check, a multi-state background check. There's not a link or anything, there's not a prescribed background check that you have to do. If you need a resource for that, we recommend that you go to ministrysafe.org or trainright.org. Either of those will help you to get background checks. And then you also need to have each of your leaders to go through an abuse and awareness training module. Ministry Safe and Train Right also provide those. So as long as you've done one by one of these approved companies, you're good to go. And the way it'll work is in the week before the event, CIY will email you and say, please report that all of your leaders have done this. And you simply write back and say, yes, they've all done it, if they've all done it. But so you have between now until the event to get it done. If you haven't already, be sure to do so. So we've covered the registration, housing, background check, airport. There's one really last document that I just want to make sure that you know about if you haven't looked at, and that is our leader prep doc. It has been on Covey Youth for a little while, but it covers most of what we talked about here, but it's a great resource or a reference that you can utilize to go back to, just kind of make sure you got all of your ducks in a row. It's in the Unite space right here on Covey Youth. Go to the resources tab and you'll be able to find it very easily. And I think Jim was going to post it. He just did. Jim posted it into the chat. So that covers all of the details and such that we had for today. We've covered a lot. We appreciate you sticking through it, but we're getting close to the event. We want to make sure everyone is all set. So what we'd like to do now is take some time to answer questions. If you have a question for us on really, at this point, anything Unite related, it's got to be no more questions about Eric singing songs. But if you have a question about Unite, then please post it in the chat and we'll do our best to answer it. And then if anybody could help me, I've not been following the chat super closely. Did anybody already pop a question in there that we didn't answer? I didn't see any. Okay. All right. If you have a question, then put it in the chat and we'll do our best to answer it. And if we don't get any questions, we'll just assume that we must have done a really good job and that everyone is all set. So while we wait for questions, just really quickly, Sally and the rest of the exec team that's here, share just in your heart and your mind as you look forward to Unite East, what's one thing that you're just really excited about, looking forward to? Sally,
when I think about what I'm excited about is actually just to be there with all the students. For many of them, like I know my students from my church, this is their first big event that they've ever attended. They've not been to anything like this before. And so I'm assuming that they aren't the only ones. And so that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is like watching the students experience this thing together that they haven't probably been a part of, or maybe some have, but to experience like worship with, 1,000 other people, or and prayer and all these different things, to just experience something new and different that maybe they haven't experienced before. I know when I attended Chick as a young person, that was my first kind of experience with that size of a group and with people from all across the country. So in this case, people from across like the whole eastern half of the United States to all be together, worshiping, learning, and experiencing the transformation that comes with following Jesus together. Like, I think that's what I'm most excited about. New experiences for students. So.
Excellent. Edgar, how about you? What are you excited about or looking forward to?
I'm excited for the robots at the
The
university.
robots, the starships?
There's something about them that makes me want to go back. No, I'm just kidding. But I think the same thing Sally said. I'm excited for us being together again, for us to be able to experience such a conference, such a historic event of the ECC, that and to see the generations to be able to experience once again. I'm excited to see that. So yeah, I'm pumped for the fun games, which is group games, which is something very new to Chick, or what used to be Chick Unite. I'm super pumped for the big games, getting people together for something fun like that.
Yeah, great. And then Ginny, are you still with us? Can you share something you're excited about or looking forward to for Unite?
Yeah, I just being together with youth pastors from all over. We don't get together very often, and to be together with students and just kind of those moments when the students are doing something and you get that kind of hallway conversation, or you're hanging out in the cafeteria and you get to grab a meal together and just catch up on life and what God is doing. I love that. So it's kind of like, it's nice to know you're not alone when you're doing this.
That's great. Thank you, Jean. All right, looks like we did get a couple of questions. Amy Gaspari, hope I said your name right, asked, do we have an updated number of students at Unite East? Eric, do you have that?
Yeah. So right now we're trending towards about 1,300 at both locations. So we're really excited about seeing how God's moving. We have not only just like other individuals who are volunteers and students and leaders. So that's where we're at right now.
That's great. Good.
Yeah.
And then the other question has to do with background checks. Patty Hoffman. Hi, Patty. Good to see you. Do we need to complete new background checks and training specifically for this event? She says all of our leaders have already had background checks and training as part of our ministry onboarding.
Yep. And so as you also like listen to the links there and like the resources for the Unite on the page of coveyouth.com, you can see that all you have to be able to do is provide that background check within 24 hours if needed. So we're trusting that's it's CIY's policy and in your hands to make sure those are done, but also make sure that you're being able to provide that documentation if needed.
Yeah, and I think in general, it needs to be what I've heard in the past, like with this kind of policy, is 2 years. Like if it's older than 2 years, it needs to be
Last
redone.
2 years. Yep. Yep.
So that's good. Great. Well, I think that's all of our questions then. So we'll go ahead and wrap things up. I'm really excited for this event and I'm excited to work with this team. We got the super team here at Unite East. It's going to be so much fun to work together. And we're really looking forward to seeing all of you as well. Our youth leaders and all of your students are going to be joining us. We are going to have so much fun at Unite. And I can't wait to see all of you. Jordan just posted the details from COI about leader screening that gives information about that. Looks like in the past 12 months. So that's
Sorry.
That-
12 months. Yeah.
12 months. So hope that's helpful, Patty. So 12 months. If it's been more than that, then you need to do it again. So, okay. Well, thanks again. You guys did a great job and look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a good afternoon.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Unite. Eric's going to sing us out.
Nope. And I'll see you later.